Je sais pas si ça marche parce que il y a que apparemment il y a qu'une personne qui voit pour l'instant. Je sais pas.
C'est on là?
Ouais.
J'ai appuyé sur Firefox et il n'y a rien qui se passe.
It works, il nous voit. Je pense que. Je sais pas s'il nous voit. Bon, alors. Ah, ça y est, il y a deux personnes qui nous suivent. Donc là, je pense qu'ils nous voient. C'est pas.
Ben ouais, mais je n'arrive pas dans Firefox.
Ah.
Je clique, ça marche pas.
Oui, parce qu'il n'est pas encore lancé.
Ah, ça y est, waouh.
Ouais. Ah, ouais, mais. Par contre, pas te mettre de côté, genre, c'est vrai. Non, mais. Je blague, mais là, c'est bon, je sais. Mon ordi, mais. Ah, il est que 19h sur le mien. C'est en avance sur le tien.
Ah oui, je suis en avance sur le mien.
T'aurais pu me le dire. Ça faisait genre 5 minutes que les gens étaient derrière en mode genre. Alors, c'est bon.
Ça rend bien.
C'est un peu petit, mais c'est pas mal. Tu peux pas agrandir l'image. En plus, ça c'est vachement haut et je sais pas comment on va faire pour atteindre le haut de la carte.
J'ai pas réussi à imprimer le truc.
Okay. Et si tu peux trouver deux poids pour coincer la bâche parce qu'elle a bougé, on pourra pas écrire dessus. That's the only thing. Ok, donc là je descends au niveau de la carte. Enfin, comme on enregistre l'habitude. Voilà. Donc là, je pense que c'est pas mal. Je peux pas la mettre en plein écran. Bon, je laisse comme ça. C'est un peu petit, ça va. C'est complètement mystique. Alors c'est pas mal, mais ça vaut plus le coup de mettre tout par là. C'est pour avoir deux bâches. Ouais, c'est vrai.
C'est toi qui as mis sur la page ou sur moi?
Ça va pas suffire les hauts pour moi. Peu importe, mais.
Il y en a un qui dit, il y en a un qui crie.
Ouais, c'est juste qu'on peut pas. C'est vrai qu'on aurait peut-être pu se mettre l'autre son de la bâche. C'est pas grave.
Et le problème, c'est que ça va. Ah ouais.
Quoi? Comment ça, on a pas mal? Ah merde. Comment on fait?
Ben, il faut dans les paramètres.
Il faut régler ton vidéoprage? Effectivement. C'est pas si net que ça, hein. Mais c'est pas mal. On a déjà 3 personnes qui nous matent là, et on n'est pas prêt. Pas quoi faire. Quand t'es prêt, tu me dis.
Mais le problème, c'est que.
Je vais peut-être leur faire un décompte avec maman. 1, 2, 3, go!
Ouais.
Tu sais le faire, non? Rotationner l'écran.
Normalement, c'est dans les. Ça existe dans les menus en fait, mais. Je sais pas.
Ouais, sinon c'est pas très pratique. On aurait dû tester cette install. Heureusement qu'on n'est pas en live, mais en stream. Parce que sinon, il serait là genre hello, hey, hi. Ça va, il y aura une petite live.
Projection avant. Ah, c'est ça. Je pense. Ok. Je pense que c'est ça.
C'est pas encore dans le bon
Projection.
sens. Vas-y, ouais, ça a l'air d'être ça. Arrière.
Arrière. Yes.
Ouais, t'es trop bonne. Allez, go. Ok, c'est cool. Là, on a... Ah, merde, on a perdu un viewer, là. On voit pas la carte tout le temps. Comment on fait?
Mais c'est soit nous,
Ah,
soit
mais
la
on est à
carte, en
l'envers,
fait.
non? Pourquoi je fais de ce côté?
Oui. Attends, on voit la carte là? Ou elle a été remise à l'envers?
Pourquoi je suis pas du bon côté?
Attends, retire-toi. Est-ce que tu vois que la carte est à l'endroit?
Oui, oui, elle est à l'endroit, la carte.
Ouais, c'est bon.
Oh, non, mais c'est bon, c'est bon, c'est bon. Bon, on peut y aller.
Ok.
On a lancé l'enregistrement. C'est bon, parce qu'on peut sortir. C'est enregistré. On t'est pas de
Oui. Hi.
Hi, everybody. So, we are Anaïs and Virginie from the studio Rotolux, and we will introduce to you a little bit the place and different kind of places in Paris. With them, we share a lot of things, so we want to speak about it. So, as you can read it on the web page, Rotolux is, in brief, the name of a former printing house in Bagnolet. 12 creative, composed of visual artists and designers, took over Rotolux in the spring 2015 and transformed it into a creative work and research studio. Rotolux holds also cultural events and artistic workshops. So, the place is divided into 3 work zones. One for object designer with specific tools on fixed tables. One contains 3 plastician zones, and the other is dedicated to the clean techniques like video, photo, graphic design. Everything is communicated. In the middle, there is a 18 square meter space, separate, which is alternately a common area of production for big pieces and our project exhibition space, surrounded by the individual places. We have common room to eat and relax and sometimes sleep, and few storage places are disseminated in all the space. Why we decide to create this structure? We are visual artists, 2 graphic designer, 2 object designer, and 1 wardrobe. We were 4 or 5, needed a place in some state of urgency. 2 of us, Dimitri and Alaric, had to leave their old studio. The 2 graphic designers, Alaric and Lena, wanted to open a publishing house together. I had the desire to open some kind of structure to be at the beginning of the project. In October 2014, I was working about the Young Creation exhibition, and I really needed a personal studio. I felt the importance to have a place dedicated to the production outside a domestic place. When Dimitri, member of Young Creation 2, proposed me to join the first team and meet the 2 graphic designers, Alaric and Lena. So we decided to search a workspace. In the same time, we searched the team. The first team was constituted equally between graphic designer and plastician artists, but we missed few members to be at least 10 members and be financially sustainable regarding the rental prices. It took 2 months to negotiate the future Rotolux space and constitute the stable team. We constitute ourselves as a non-profit association, law 91 in France. During this time, we lost potential members and opened the project to few others, asking to friends and network. It gave us the particularity to come from different horizons, different schools, like the fine art of Toulouse, Lyon, Cergy, Paris, or La Cambre in Brussels, or applied art school in Paris, and to cross disciplines, approaches, and point of view. Our diversity is a force and a chance. We have to meet and know each other, which is sources of artistic emulation and creativity, and keep us really open-minded. We cross the individual dynamic into the collective project Rotolux, and it generates a productive momentum for members, maybe like a laboratory. So, what was the different problematic and how it encountered the particularities of the building? To make this space a tool, our guidelines were to focus on the production for all members in parallel, to organize the space in order to keep a large space to propose exhibition, artist hall, conferences, film screening and workshop. The programming part is as important as the production part. Production is a fundamental necessity for artists, and programming is a tool to work on network, to position our studio as a place to bring together initiatives, to be an active sharing place. It seems interesting to us that the studio become public at some times, a meeting point of practices and researches through programming. Other priorities were to share common resources. It's technically sharing our abilities, resources, skill, knowledge, put in common our material resources, share our sensibility. In a way, to have a certain autonomy in the art field as artist, as producer of project, as a structure. It's not denied that we need each other, but find gaps and new spaces of freedom, greater flexibility. We found this all printing of 300 square meters. The configuration of the place with the large central space around us allow us immediately to imagine to program events and exhibitions, alternatively with production space for our big pieces or installation, as I said. And the three other places offers some kind of privacy and peacefulness conducive to work and creativity, opposite to an open space, for example. The building wasn't occupied since 5 years and was pretty damaged. So we asked to the owner to pay for work for an amount of almost 15,000 euros. To renovate it, he accepted. So we engaged together in big works like isolation, making doors, interior wall, put interior windows, for a few months. First step, which count regarding the engagement of members in the project, and was the occasion to discover and learn more from each other and discern who can do what in order to organize the future collective functionment. The work was the first step to constitute as and to train as a group. So we worked, planned, dreamed together and made the dream happen. We made the building adapt to our use and more, with a lot of freedom in fact. Another particularity influenced our energy here, that we signed for 3 years. It's a precarious lease. It's long and short in the same time. The future stay precarious, but we can think our presence here as an experience. Non, j'ai pas pris la partie.
La partie de la carte, quoi.
Non, c'est la partie sur le programme. Ce que tu as écrit sur le programme.
Ok.
On va perdre notre auditeur.
C'est... Ouais, mais ça, c'est sur la troisième partie que j'en parle, en fait. Hein.
Le programme?
Oui, le
bah
programme, j'en parle dans la troisième partie, je te dis.
Ah, t'as pas expliqué les différents événements qu'on avait?
Bah non. Moi, j'ai fait la troisième partie.
D'accord.
J'en ai parlé du programme.
Ok.
Sur l'organisation.
Vas-y, c'est pas grave, je vais continuer. Bah, faut que tu me remettes sur la vidéo, si tu veux bien. Okay, internet. So we engage in programming. To put our action in perspective, and we will speak after about the different events we hosted here. Here it is some thought still unresolved, but each event brings precision about it. Few questions we are in mind. What we share: place, energy, money, a little budget is offered for each event, time, network, and contact experiences. After beginning the programming, we have to think about a principle, guidelines of the project. Do we need to have a common aesthetic direction? Or do we decide to offer carte blanche and invite partners to do what they want because we trust them? Or it's maybe not a question of trust, but to offer a real space of liberty and experimentation of freedom, and abandon any droit de regard, right to check. Is it sustain a kind of creation without any censorship? How the programming could reflect our diversity and what we have in common too. It should maybe how school interfere and influence, affect our regards. What we consider as a good piece of art or not. That's why maybe decide to invite very diverse different projects and profiles in order to do the aesthetic account at the end of Rotolux could be an interesting position. One point appears important for us now. It is the willingness to work with the site, to produce, if possible, a new work, pay attention and take it into account of the space, in a way to make an in-situ proposition. We know now that it's more interesting for us to ask for a moment of experimentation, take risks, because these kind of places without any real determination are places for experimentation. Try things you can't propose elsewhere, and I think especially outside a gallery or institutional or school context. It's something else. So Rotolux is a studio with a publishing house, Rotolux Press, a creation and exhibition place, but also almost a comfortable house, with a court and a barbecue, a place to meet for members, invited neighborhood and public, a clandestine bar, speakeasy, at some point, independent initiative to give us the condition of the creation. It's a place to initiate and host projects, and it is a way to be identifiable and gain visibility for each other by the force of the collective.
Yeah, so now we are gonna introduce other independent artist initiative. So our structure is a part of an independent artist initiative network that we know pretty well by social network, friends, and visits them regularly. These structures constitute the young independent structure landscape in Paris and its surroundings, several places that we are going to introduce. We think immediately to the artist-run space form. Those places which it is hard to find a single name for because there is no system or statutes encompassing them all. Currently, artist-run space fits all kinds of models. So without making the artist-run space history, let's say a few things.
Là, c'est pas vraiment préparé, donc si tu veux, il y a des exemples à donner en fait. So we were thinking about different model of artist-run spaces, and we find a very interesting doc, and we want to share with you some example of model.
This
And
one.
we send the doc after on the platform.
Yeah, so it's the artist-run space of the future. and there is many different kind of models, like temporary space apartment galleries. So it's like domestic, like a
Est-ce que tu peux lire tu peux
yeah. Many artist-run spaces are started with an intention of being temporary. They often take the form of apartment galleries, an apartment space that is converted into a gallery for special performance, events, or even for years at a time. This is often responsible to real estate issues and the desire of intimacy, immediacy, and the comfort of creating something in the space you also live in. Apartment galleries have a long history in many places like Austin, TX, and Chicago, among many others. There is also the work share. The concept of shared artist space is nothing new, taking its roots from many sources like real estate fluctuations in urban centers, the hippie culture, and of communal living, and the cooperative movement of groups like Fluxus, the Situationist, and the Bauhaus, among others. In recent years, there has been a trend among artist-run spaces to play the ideas of shared space, creating work-only or live work studios that financially support a shared project space or gallery. Work-share models are also emerging as a recent trend. Work shares allow people to rent out work space where shared sources like printers, Wi-Fi, and even the presence of people become a part of a monthly rental fee that is paid to reserve a spot at a large table or amalgam of cubicles. So yeah, there is many of them. We will. Yeah, we can
read it. There is a few more models like workers cooperative, gallery project incubator, residency, and something like called LLC. And I think residency and gallery project incubator could be interesting to just to quote, maybe.
Yeah, many artist-run spaces operate as a gallery attached to a project space where an artist can work for several months on a project and then present his or her work to the community through the gallery space. And the residency programs are often times the central component to an artist-run space, inviting artists to come and live in the space while they create work or engage in the local community. Many times the intention is to provide some kind of exchange. The artist provides opportunities to show new work, present a new project, or engage both the space and the community around the space through an art making or problem or problem solving process. Yeah, so we listened few categories into all.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I can say something more.
You want to add something?
Yeah. That each one answers to different needs and particularities, but we can discern common function and question guidelines, which explain the densification of this network in Paris and surroundings. There are there are questions of legitimation, how we show art by ourselves, which economy we install, how we function in group, the way we operate, and these spaces could be organized according field research, organizational model, funding or economic model, network and school influence. And I think scale and duration of the project, because a space made to be ephemeral is very different from a place you want to invest, you want to use for a lot of time. So I just want to give this category before.
Yeah. So we descend so few categories into all of these diffusions of creation and exhibition spaces. So
we can find sharing studio, private and domestic place like apartment, non-profit gallery, self-organized residency places. It's not exhaustive. Places we can be rental places or landed or squat or project space. Only devoted to work or living place too.
Yeah. So we are going to show you the map of Paris with different type of So the first is the sharing studio. We are actually a sharing studio. We only introduced the place which are making some which are making a diffusion of events. So there is many sharing studios. You can see it. Yeah, it's owned by artists and curators. So we are here on the east part of Paris. It's in Saint-Saint-Denis, so it's not inside Paris.
What is the first category, please?
Sharing studio. So it's not really inside Paris, and there is many many places more in the east part of Paris because it's a cheaper part, and I think that's why there is many things happening there. And there is also old factories, and it's more in the east part of Paris. So they invested it. So in the sharing studios, you have.
We can speak about 4 or 5 places called Shake It, the W Studio, Rinomina, the 6B, and EXO and the less one. So they are all studio used by a few artists. It depends. The less one is just one artist, but you can find, I think, 10 or 12 artists at Shake It, and they transform the studio to host exhibitions, and the first one, Shake It, is the particularity is this is a place to work, but a place of diffusion too. And the model is a non-profit association And the objective is to sustain the young creation and give visibility. They don't have any subvention, but the important point, I think, is how they transform the space to host this project. I think they did 4 or 5 projects per year, and each time they have to clean all the studio, so it's a big open space and everything is movable, and they move everything. They just keep the wall, and sometimes they invite a curator, or sometimes they made themselves the curatoring part. And I think they began in 2030 or 12, so they are a few years. So it's just a model. And in another one, the Atelier W, which is in Saint-Denis, another. These places are suburb because it's less expensive, and you can find big places. This studio is interesting because he has few years of functionment, and the space is like on two level, and the first one is the big place, I think 60 square meters to host exhibition and projects, and upstairs you have all the individual places. So they decided to divide the space into two spaces to give to keep this possibility to make exhibition and projects. And they are interesting now because her model is moving into the residency model, because almost all the members inside, they found another way to produce places like residency, or we have something called how can I say apartment studio in Paris and in France, and so they found it. So they want to keep the space, and I think the visibility they already had, and transform it into residency for develop their exhibition, their project program. So we have the Renomina space too, which is
more in the center of Paris. It's quite rare to have exhibition spaces in the center because it's much more expensive. But it's the studio of 2 artists working there, and they are making exhibitions, I think once 3 weeks or something. So yeah, they have a small space, but they are making their studio clean and
they give all the space to make the exhibitions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have also
in the same model, I think XOXO is interesting because it's a big sharing studio, but for 2 persons. One is a graphic designer, I think. Oh no, sorry, it's a curatrice, and the other is an artist, painter and sculptor. And so she don't really need the space, but she wants to make the team with him. And each time they propose something in the space, they make empty everything. But in other times, it's a real studio for the other artists. And the particularity of this place, I think, it's they have an open they have an interest to go to the art fair and other places like that, be engaged in the another economic model and about selling art and exhibit it in these kind of places.
And the 6B is over there, really far away, but in Saint-Denis, which is there, and there is many artists working there. It's a really big building. I think there is 200 artists working there.
Yeah, I think it's
like
a lot.
that.
I'm not sure, but
and they have yeah.
Yeah, it's a very big place, and they have a lot of different activities like a concert place, restaurants, and a few activities. It's a very huge place. But the most important, I think, is this place give a lot of provide a lot of studio for artists.
And it was also a squat, right?
At the beginning, it was a squat.
Yeah.
And they made a convention with the Mary of Paris, institution, so they can stay and use it.
Yeah, and there is also other squats which are interesting to talk to you about. There is L'Amour, which is not so far away from us. It's also in Bagnolet, which we are staying, the city we are staying, and it was born in January 2015, so 1 year and few months, and they opened the space, which is a huge space of like 350 square meter. And it was empty for I think 20 or 30 years, and they opened it. They came. They are a collective of Urk, so they have already experiences of the squat. And they are making every week an exhibition, and every week a kind of lunch open to everybody.
Sunday soup.
Ouais.
Sunday soup.
Sunday soup, and they were menacés. They have some. The owner wanted to take back the space, but the city said they can stay for 22 months. So it's really good. They are doing really good work and working a lot for making exhibitions.
Yeah, they tried to establish a convention with the city of Paris too, and the region. And yeah, it's not totally sure for now, but since the beginning they made a lot of things, and we know them because each week we can find something to watch over there, and yeah, they are very engaged with the neighborhood and making things with them, and maybe it's a characteristic of these spaces. These spaces are open illegally, so to making things with neighboring help to keep the place, and yeah. And the dock too, because but the dock is very different. The dock is another documentation. DOC is another. You can find, by the way, all the websites of these places on the page we made on the Ambassador Convention platform. So just behind the map you can see. You can find all the link. And
Yeah.
so the doc. Le doc.
Le doc.
J'ai rien dit dessus encore.
Ouais, non.
The doc is a new place too. I think he opened 1 year ago, and yeah, and it was an old technical school, lycée, or je sais pas comment on dit lycée. Technical school in the north of Paris.
Yeah, it's
Unused since I don't know, a few years, but not ready to be destroyed. And it's very huge. It's 3,000 meters square, 50 artists, yeah. Studio, different spaces and technical studio. Sorry.
yeah, and they are living there.
Yeah, 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 50 artists, but I think there is family too, and they are living over there. So that makes a lot of different profiles. You can find artists, you can find family, you can find artists who live over there, and they have a very huge exhibition space that they use to propose things like one things per month or two, I think. And they made a lot of works because the place was in a mess, and they invest like each month each member gives something like €5 per meter he occupe, and this money, as it's some free space, this money goes into the works and the renovation of the space. But they are they are afraid to leave the space too. But it's not so. Maybe it's not so important. The important is to open it, make the initiative, and after maybe they will find another place. But it's not finished. Maybe they stay a long time because the project is the region is very interesting by the project.
And there is also non-profit galleries. There is many, so you can find it on our page. But we can talk about some of them.
Non-profit gallery are a little bit different from a sharing studio because you can find at the origin of the project, not especially artists. It could be a curator, it could be I don't know, graphic designer or other institute, artist interlocutor. So we are just located it on a map.
So there is a Van de Müller.
And give the specificity of the places, just in short. The
22 Rue Müller.
Streets. It's particular. Yeah, because they opened in 2011. They made 60 events since they opened, and they are totally multidisciplinary. They made invitation for curators or workshop, or the big point for them is the spaces is not very is 11 square meters, so it's not so huge, and they have to deal with that. You have the
glass box.
The glass box space too, which is almost a residency space. It opened a long time ago, and I don't know, maybe 10 years. But the initial team moved, and
near the glass box there is in the same street there is also 13, which also exists from Like 10 years?
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but it's not the same origin, I think.
Yeah, it's not the same origin, but
same function.
Pretty.
And Glassbox have two a mixed activity between produce project in the dark space, but they made residency too after open call. So, but they have a showcase on the street too. So, yeah, it's kind of a mixed space, and I think there is artists inside, but also curator and critics. It's not only held by artists.
And maybe you can talk about Jeune Création, and I'm gonna.
Yes. Yeah, Young Creation is another more self-organized initiative, but it's a big one because we have 60. I'm a part of the association, and we have 60 years of existence. So the I won't go into detail because it's very good. It's very huge, but the purpose is to make a big exhibition per year where you can have a look on the young creation in Paris and the European level. And we exhibit like 60 artists, so it's huge. We spend almost all the year preparing that. And we develop our Lemur projects too, and we have a space in the 14th arrondissement where we will develop the programming of exhibition. It's more like an exhibition space, but the functioning of the structure is very. We are 20 or maybe 30, depending on the moment of the year, running this. So yeah, it's a big one, but it's totally run by artists, so it is interesting in our purpose. And not so far, we collaborate with a new network called Zonar, which is held by the Le Châssis. Le Châssis is like a self-organized initiative too. They have a small exhibition space near in the 14 too, in the same place we share with the Young Creation, which is old hospital. It's not exactly a squat, but it's like temporary occupation admitted by the city. So we have few associations inside, a lot, I think, maybe 50, sharing the space, this huge space, and making our work. So Le Châssis have a small exhibition place near this, and it is in the same times a network of diffusion and a webzine. So it's an interesting members of the network too. We have another places like La Couleuvre, Le 8, Chanenay, La Maudite, Palais de Terre, Tonus, La Plage. They have all particularities, but we can design. We can design them like a non-profit gallery. And for example, Le 8, I love this structure. Le 8 is a structure held by young artists, almost already in the school. And the particularity for me is when they host a project or invite an artist, I think there are 8 people, but I'm not sure because the team is running, and they spend all the time to hold the artist to make the project in space, and I'm really interested by this common functionment. I think it's interesting. La Couleuvre is an old studio. The artist gave his studio to transform it into an exhibition space only. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for the other, I like to check on the website because
I just wanted to introduce you also to APDV, à perte de vue, which is which is kind of particular. It's there. Yeah. Just let me 1 second. Yeah, it's so the traduction in English of à perte de vue is as far as the eye can see. It was born from the willingness to put the artistic action in the center of social reality, and more precisely inside the RIVP groups, low-cost houses, named HLM in French, situated at Porte de Vincennes in Paris. The project is to reinvent and reinvest the spaces which are considered in between private and public, including the caretakers, lodges, but also the courtyards, the corridors, and the gardens, by inviting artists to appropriate them. It exists from 2009, and try to sensibilize the other tenants to artworks they might not be accustomed to be with. And so they create a social link by proposing something to talk, to discuss about, and furthermore to improve improve the people living space by interrupting the everyday life. And it was the initiative of Yvon Nouzy, which have been the co-director of the Le Sous-Sol Gallery before.
The underground? The sous-sol?
Le Sous-Sol.
The underground? No.
The underground, yeah, it's the underground gallery. And he was living in this HLM, and he was staying in the lodges, and he was considering himself as a gallerist caretaker, and claimed an official status as a caretaker. And so he had to fight a lot to have it. He had subsidies given by the government, which were and the government were always supporting him, but each time refusing him to have the real status. And so he died in 2012, and from then his wife Valérie Barrault takes it over, and each year there is visits, lectures, performances which are organized, and yeah, it's a really interesting place. It's more for people which are living in the building, but you can visit it if you ask, or there is visits organized each year. Yeah, and so there is also some private and domestic places. Actually, we have only one, but there is many.
Yeah,
it's named
Pauline Perplex, just over there. It's a very young initiative. It's a co-location, roommates, and they have a very big house, and they decide to keep the living room to make an exhibition space, and they do it. So
yeah, and there is a project space.
Yeah.
There is Diamet, which have no space, right? No defined space.
No, they don't have any real space, but they are important for us. They are part of the network Zona, which is the project of Le Châssis. And this diameter 71B is an association made by old Louvre School students, Sciences Po Politique School, and from La Sorbonne, a big university in Paris. And they want to defend, promote, and diffuse the work of artists, but artists still students or very young degree artists. So they have another approach more. I think the point for them is to mix their expertise domain, their competencies, to give a new impulse, to impulse a new movements in this landscape we would like to present to you.
And they are coming from different fields. That's what is interesting, I feel.
Yeah, all right.
And there is also some residency spaces like l'entreprise culturelle.
Yeah, l'entreprise culturelle is an association, and it's just a group of person, and they want to they only propose formats, residency formats, and you have to find a space after to make them happen. So it's another configuration. We would like to you can find a map on the platform and explanations, and we want to introduce the network around us because we are working with this structure, and we share dynamic, we share a lot of things, and it helps us to define our place and to imagine project inside, and yeah, so I think it's a good thing to share this in the context of the convention, to give you a view of the context in Paris.
Yeah, and in regard to those places, Rotolux comes also from a desire of self-organization out from institution system, and extend our possibilities of acting in the public sphere and sharing our competence, our contacts and energy. We both of us are working on it in a precarious statement, but contrary to the squats, we are renting a space, and the social development only comes from a desire to do it. Thinking about that, we thought about our position in regard to our own structural choices and to the events we are organizing. 1 year ago, at the beginning of the project, we had to open an association to rent the place. And having an association means renting it as a non-individual and being registered to the public administration, attribute different roles. Like president, vice president,
secretary, accounting.
Yeah. And she's a accountant. And in regard to that, we were asking ourselves how to deal with maybe like the problem of maybe hierarchization inherent to those roles. can we escape from that, or
can we function in a horizontal way? No.
Yeah, horizontal way. Yeah. And
stay equal, maybe.
Yeah, make the balance. And after that, how to take decisions like works, exhibitions, events together, which is each our individual point of view. And do we have to vote for every event we are organizing? Roll this, or do carte blanche to each member?
Yeah.
So we opening this place, we felt interesting to keep it as a place of experimentation, functioning in a perpetual development without result obligations. Combining intimate space and sharing space, the artists invited have to deal with the share space, because we are organizing exhibitions and people are working there also. And we are now in the central space. Central space. We will show you later. And yeah, so I missed that. Yeah, so
we are also attached to not attribute us any role, any obligation of mediation, but we are questioning ourselves. In organizing events open to everyone who knows, do we have a kind of responsibility on what we are showing, Do we have to consider the public? For me, for us, not considering the public, having no mediation program can make emergence of new form, new relationship with the public. We are free to go to meet them, no? To invite them to, yeah. Things only have to come from desire and relevant proposition, considering the artwork. Yeah.
Yeah, and but how to make those things happening, and what is the link between artworks and economy? How to do that? And
we have to. Yeah, we had to think about sustainable economy in the studio, which is not really sustainable, but we pay each month our part, and to make the events possible and give a budget, we have to think about an intern economy, making money in a way or another way. But so
yeah, and for the for the events, we are financing them by selling beers, because we have our neighbor is a brewery, have his own artisanal brewery, and so we are buying them beers and selling beers, and it gives a budget for the artists we are inviting.
Or food. It could be food too.
It could be food too.
Yeah. So you can come here and have a beer, have a drink, have something to eat, and
And it was important for us because we had the experience from people to consider doing for free is normal. So we wanted to have
relative to the artist invited. Yeah, it's where you don't have a lot of money, but it's very important to have the possibility to give something, and art could be nice, have to be paid. The artists have to be paid. It's possible just to live,
Yeah. And each of us, we have a different way to pay the rent of the atelier.
Yeah, because renting a studio place is engage a new economy for us. It means work more, stay less at the studio, but this time is very, very important, so we do that. You do?
Ouais.
Okay. And the description? No?
Ça, c'est après c'est l'organisation de...
Ah, c'est le troisième, c'est quoi?
Non, mais c'est l'organisation du paragraphe précédent.
Que t'as pas dit tout à l'heure. So it's done for the moment. Thank you to listen to us.
And, but we are making a small tour. On va leur faire une visite.
Oh yeah, we are going to visit the space. Welcome.
Tu peux enlever la bâche?
On a 3 viewers.
Tadam. On l'a poussé. Yeah, so I'm starting from the entrance. I hope we are gonna have still have Wi-Fi. But so here is the entrance. We are in a small street which people are living, where people are living. And we are there, Rotolux. And so you have the court and up, and the barbecue is there. You see, up. We made it ourselves, and you have the entrance. Yeah. This is the graphic designer.
Hello.
Alaric. And so this is the space. This is the space, the central space used for exhibitions. And we make it really empty for the exhibitions, but at first, like usually it's used by everyone. It's a shared space. This is the beer. And, hey. The kitchen. We made a lot of works, 2 months before. This is a shared space. It was important for us to to still have this space and not making any atelier in it, any studio. So everyone can go there and eat and talk and just being lazy or anything. And there is also the beer beer maker. And there is a studio of a stylist, which is there, and the other ones. Ouais.
Tu vas montrer l'espace central?
Yeah. So the central space is
the shared place.
Yeah. This one. Up.
Ça arrive avec qui?
Avec toute l'équipe qui fait workshop avec nous. Enfin, toute l'équipe non, parce qu'ils sont pas tous à regarder.
C'est quoi l'équipe? C'est quoi? Rotolux?
So this is the first space shared by
Oui, mais c'est du live, c'est pas vraiment du live.
by visual artists and graphic designers, and here is the place of Anaïs. We are working there. We are 3 with Charlotte here and me over there. And yeah, so we are sharing this space.
So only plastician here?
Yeah, and we are 3 of us are making the interventions this week. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And the object designer place, which is very well organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they cut it to keep an office and have a place for, I already say that, for fixed tools and big tables. But it's a shared place too. We can use it. So you know everything.
Yeah.
So see you soon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.